There is a famous proverb in the world of finance. Wealth lasts 3 generations. The first generation builds it, the second spends it, and the third loses it. Statistically, 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation, and 90% by the third. But then there are the outliers, the families whose names are carved into the very foundations of the global economy, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Waltons. How do these dynasties defy the laws of financial gravity? How do they keep their fortunes intact, not just for decades, but for centuries? The answer isn't saving money or investing in the stock market. It's much deeper. It's about a secret infrastructure of legal shields, psychological conditioning, and private family banks. Today, we're looking at the money logic of dynasties. We're uncovering the blueprints used by the world's 1% to control wealth across generations, and why you've never been taught these methods in school. Most people think of inheritance as a simple will or a check passed down after death. To a wealthy dynasty, this is a recipe for disaster. Instead, they treat the family like a corporation. They create a family constitution. This is a formal document that outlines the family's mission, values, and, most importantly, the rules for accessing money. You don't just get the money because you were born with a certain last name. You have to earn it through education, entrepreneurship, or service to the family business. By establishing a family council, they ensure that decisions are not made by one impulsive heir, but by a board of members who prioritize the long-term survival of the capital over short-term spending. They solve the human element before it can destroy the financial element. The average person spends their life trying to own things. The ultra-rich know that ownership is a liability. If you own a house in your name, a lawsuit or a divorce can take it. If you own a business in your name, creditors can seize it. The 1% use Dynasty Trusts. These are legal entities that can last for hundreds of years. The family controls the assets inside the trust, but technically they don't own them. Because the trust never dies, the assets are never subject to the massive estate taxes, inheritance taxes, that usually wipe out 40% of a fortune every time someone passes away. By using these structures, wealth is shielded from taxes, lawsuits, and unproductive family members. The assets grow behind a wall of legal protection that the average person doesn't even know exists. This is the holy grail of generational wealth. Instead of letting their children go to a commercial bank to get a loan for a new business or a home, the family becomes the bank. Imagine a central pool of family capital. If a third-generation heir wants to start a tech company, they present a business plan to the family council. The family bank lends them the money at a low interest rate. But here is the logic. The interest goes back into the family pool. The money never leaves the family ecosystem. In a normal family, interest is a leak that makes bankers rich. In a dynasty, interest is an engine that makes the family pool grow even faster. This creates a self-funding loop that makes the family mathematically immune to poverty. If you give $1 million to a person with a poverty mindset, they will be broke in a year. If you take $1 million away from someone with a wealth mindset, they will have it back in 2 years. Wealthy families focus more on intellectual capital than financial capital. They don't just teach their kids how to be rich, they teach them the logic of money. They teach them accounting, understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. They teach them networking, access to closed circles where the real deals happen. They teach them emotional intelligence, how to delay gratification and manage the pressure of a legacy. They invest in their children's education not just for a degree, but for the human capital required to manage the financial capital. You might be thinking, I don't have $1 billion or a family council, but the logic remains the same regardless of the number of zeros in your bank account. Stop ownership obsession. Start looking into how even basic trusts or LLCs can protect what you are building for your kids. Create a family mission statement. Sit down with your spouse or children. Define what your money is for. Is it for status or is it for freedom and education?
The 100-year rule. Stop making decisions based on the next 12 months. Start asking, will this decision benefit my grandchildren? 4. Educate before you inherit. Never pass down money to someone who hasn't first been taught how to manage $1,000. Wealth isn't just about the balance in a bank account. It's about the systems that protect it and the minds that manage it. The rich don't just control money, they control the flow of money across time. By shifting your perspective from me to we and from now to forever, you start to think like a dynasty. You stop being a consumer and start being a founder. If you want to dive deeper into the hidden structures of the global elite and master your own money logic, subscribe and hit the bell. We're here to help you build a legacy that lasts.